So I want to really give you all the information to go in there and talk to any of your healthcare providers if they're not me. All my patients know I draw that on the first visit. And a multitude of other things. Because I cannot take care of you if I don't know what's wrong with you. But if you don't come to me, I just want you to be your own advocate, because we all have to be that way to make sure we're getting appropriate care. So from 6.3 or 6.4 on down, we're doing that. Now, we're talking to the people whose A1C is greater than what, Mike?
9%.
Yes. So if they are greater than 9%, they're running about what, 350?
Well, in the 200s on up.
Yeah, it's from 250 to 350.
And that's fasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
And so we know that when we start hitting 9 and up, you're worrying about complications like blindness, heart attacks, strokes, going into kidney failure, needing dialysis, neuropathy, burning, numbness, tingling in the feet.
Yeah, retinopathy, can't see.
Yes. And so we're trying to get them down pretty quickly.
Right.
And so that's when I usually call you in. Hey, I have a patient that has an A1C of 9 and above.
Right.
And then you come in and let's talk about this little device. It looks like a little beeper. And I'll put a picture on it on our Facebook just so you can see what it looks like.
Sure.
But tell them all about it.
So the Vigo is basically an insulin delivery patch. You fill it up with rapid acting insulin, and then you just have to click a button. You wear it like a large Band-Aid. And from that point on, you just have to click a button when you need your insulin. It gives you an automatic steady drip of insulin all day, each hour, over a 24-hour period. So it kind of gives you that basal or that long-acting insulin effect. And then when you go to eat, you're wearing it under your clothes. Yeah, you're wearing it under your clothes, so you just have to click a button to get your rapid-acting insulin, as opposed to taking extra injections.
Now let's go back. So you said your basal. Tell them what is basal insulin.
So basal basically means day, all day long. Like if you're on a Lantus or a Levemir or a Traceba, those insulins, the way that they're manufactured or the way that they're engineered, actually last over a 24-hour period. So it's one injection. It really is targeted towards handling your fasting blood glucose.
Correct.
And then, obviously, I'll ask you a question for the audience. When is our glucose at its highest?
2 hours after we eat.
2 hours after we eat. And so when physicians know that, and they know the physiological makeup of our bodies, it becomes incumbent upon the providers and the patients alike to address those mealtime insulin.
Now let's go back and say that together now. Now that's both we're a team now.
Yeah.
I am Phil Jackson and the patient is Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Or whoever coaches LeBron and they LeBron.
Okay.
Because we have to make sure that people know that go Lakers. They have to take accountability.
Yes.
Diabetes is nothing to play with. Hypertension is nothing to play with.
Yes.
All of these chronic medical conditions are nothing to play with. So if your provider is coming to you, you all are a team.
Right.
You can say yes or no, or this is what I'm more comfortable with,
For sure.
and this is what I'll be more compliant with.
For sure.
But you still need to take this more seriously.
For sure. And
Right.
type 2 diabetes is really a disease of compliance, really.
Yes, it is.
Because it's not hard to treat in a sense that you know what the problem is. My glucose is high. My sugars is high. My sugars are high. And so at that point, whatever the plan the physician gives you, 9.9 times out of 10 is going to work if you adhere to the plan.
Correct.
But I'll tell you this, if I were a diabetic patient, and I probably will be one day because both my parents are, but if someone prescribed me 4 shots, 5 shots per day, on top of checking my glucose, finger pricks and the like, I probably would not be as compliant as I should be.
Me neither.
And so, you got other things on the market. You've got the insulin pumps.
Yes.
That
they will get from their endocrinologist. You will go to a specialist for that.
Yep, and they're also very effective at lowering the glucose. But then you also have the Vigo, which is from a simplicity standpoint, very easy.
It's so slick, and it's so sleek, and it's so small that even if you put on like a form-fitting shirt, I don't think people can really see it.
No, they couldn't. They wouldn't be able to tell that you even have it on. And instead of, let's say that you wanted to really get tight control of your glucose, then it's probably very a good idea to address those meals. And so whereas you go to you go to a restaurant, it's Sunday, you want to go get some soul food after church, 9 times out of 10 excuse me, 9 times out of 10 your glucose is going to shoot up after you eat. So if you're not on a rapid acting insulin with your meals,
now tell them what some examples of those.
So rapid acting insulins would be Novolog, Humalog, Apidra, and Admelog now.
Admelog is the new one
That's the
that
new
a lot
one.
of Medicaid patients are being prescribed.
Exactly right.
Yes,
And
and
so
they take those when?
They take those, a few minutes before you eat.
Right.
Basically. And
don't take it and not eat.
Right. Don't take it and not eat.
You cannot do that. Your blood sugar will bottom out.
Right.
And if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, it can be,
devastating. Yeah, yeah. And so, basically, before you eat, you were to take that rapid acting insulin shot. And so if you're eating 3-4 times a day, that's 3 or 4 shots.
Correct.
And so with the Vigo, it's just a simple insulin click. I mean, it's a simple click of a button through your clothes.
Right. Because it's so nice that it has like this little bitty box, and it's a tape that you adhere to the belly. It's one little poke just so it can stay in place.
Yep. And
then you click it either 1, 2, or 3 times because each click represents what?
2 units of insulin.
Yes.
Yep. So it basically, like she said, it's very convenient. People don't even know you have it on. Curves to you. I mean, it's on your person, on your body. You wear it on your abdomen. It's just like a large Band-Aid, in a sense. And it's like I said, it helps with compliance.
So we know that a lot of people are afraid of shots. I'm telling you all, when you all give a shot in your belly, you don't even feel it. I mean, unless you have no fat on your belly, most of us have a little pudge, and so therefore we don't even feel it. But what I like about it is it does have to kind of get it down a little bit quicker because people are compliant.
Exactly.
That's what the difference is.
Compliance
it's not
is the
that
name
it's
of
a
the game.
device or, it's going to be like, oh, what's better, the insulin pump or the Vigo?
Right.
I think it's when you don't have to physically go to the refrigerator, because that's the one thing about insulin. It has to be in the refrigerator and draw it up, which if you have an A1C of 9 or above, you might not can't even see those little lines on the syringes. But if all I got to do is just sit there and be watching TV, and then they making a wonderful cake and ice cream over there, and I want some, I can click 1, 2, 3 and get 6 sugars and then have my cake and ice cream.
Yeah.
Now, we always say do everything in moderation because we do want to get that down. So we're not saying this is going to be the end all and you all can eat whatever you want. No, you have to do the work in order to get the diabetes under control. But what we're trying to tell you today is it's different things out there.
Yeah. The Vigo, I mean, like you were alluding to, it's basically, I mean, you're going to take insulin. So it's just the Vigo is only changing how you take it. You're having to go from multiple shots to 1 application per day. It's that simple. So it's all about compliance. It's all about convenience. It's all about quality of life.
Now, the funny thing you and I was talking about before the show. So if I write the prescription, you come in and do the education. People always go, I don't want to take no insulin.
Well,
and then what do we say?
That frustrates Jesus out of me.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Tell them why.
Because it's just like, let's say your body isn't producing enough blood, right? Would you then go and get a blood transfusion?
Correct the mundo, unless you're Jehovah's Witness. But if you're not,
right.
you're going to get...
Well, let's say that your body's not producing enough of a particular hormone, thyroid.
Testosterone, honey. Everybody wants testosterone.
Yeah. Let's say if you were a man and you were extremely low on testosterone.
Got some ED.
You would go real quick, fast, in a hurry.
Run into my office, banging on the door.
To get that testosterone shot.
Correct.
Insulin is no different. Insulin is a hormone that our body produces.
Amen.
If you are diabetic, you are either not producing enough of this hormone, not producing enough insulin, or your body's not using what's being produced properly.
Correct.
So you need exogenous, or you need outside of the body insulin in order for you to be a healthy individual.
And what he's saying is he's just giving you back what your body has to have in order to function.
Exactly. When you get dehydrated, what do?
Need water, or come see Karla for infusion therapy.
Exactly. It's just real simple. And the bottom line is, I get it. If you're a diabetic patient, you don't want to take shots because it's inconvenient and it hurts. I get it. That's why they came out with things like the insulin pumps, whether it be Omnipod, whether it be the Medtronic pump. Those are also great options. But now you also have the Vigo, which is extremely simple and easy to do.
Now, is it an age, where they cannot have a Vigo?
No, I mean, as far as an age limit, no. I have many Medicare patients, many nursing homes, the older you want to be. Now, as far as youth, it's not been studied in patients under 18.
Okay.
So I can't speak to
That's
this.
something we need to get together, because think about the obesity rate, especially here in Kentucky.
Oh, no question.
Our youth are number 3 in the nation.
No question. And it's all about just being a study. It's a small company, and they just haven't funded those studies yet. But but also we're more geared towards the type 2 diabetic
Right,
patients.
not type 1, you all.
Yeah. Well, it's indicated for type 1. We just don't market it for type 1 because it only gives doses in increments of 2 units.
So it won't be enough.
Well, not that it won't be enough. It's just some type 1 diabetic patients are so sensitive. They take a half unit of insulin.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, they swing with those, and so we really only market it for type 2 diabetic patients.
Okay,
Yeah,
from 18 on up.
18 on up.
Now, what about insurance? Because everybody's looking at their new policies now. Some of you all just checked and said, give me the cheapest one, but you do not realize that that's not really the best one if you have medical conditions. Because now we're talking about medicines, we're talking about high co-pays, we're talking about a high deductible.
Vigo is covered everywhere. It's covered managed Medicaid, covered Medicare, covered commercial.
Okay.
We'll get it. We'll go through what we need to go through to get it approved, and it also saves a lot of times because you don't need an insulin syringe. It's prescription.
Right.
So patients can possibly save money.
Yeah, because those cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was just thinking when you said that. So my very busy people who don't have a refrigerator, at their access, maybe they work in a factory, maybe they drive trucks or drive planes or trains.
Sure.
They don't have a refrigerator or a break room.
Sure.
This apparatus will be really good for them because all they do is stick them on, put it on themselves for what, 24 hours?
24 hours. They have to switch them out. So when they get their prescription, they'll get 30 per month, 30 little pods that come in a little box.
Okay.
They switch them out same time every day, 24-hour wear. It does not need, but it really doesn't need to be refrigerated. But any insulin, once the seal is broken, whether it be a vial, pen, or even in the Vigo, it does not need to be refrigerated.
Right, but I'm just saying when they're using and not using this apparatus, they're going to keep it in the refrigerator, and so this way they don't have to worry about having a refrigerator at their access because they can do this in the morning or the night whenever they're about to leave.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Very convenient. It fits in with just about anyone's anyone's typical daily routine.
Okay, and so the thing that people also need to know is as they become more compliant, because this is not a forever. Just because you have the diagnosis of diabetes does not mean that you will have a lifetime of taking insulin or oral medications or other types of insulin. Other injectables like GLP-1s and all of those. Because if